Welcome back. This is Marie Antonette Waite, your host here at the International Wealth Builders Radio Talk Show. And Laleh Hanks is our guest, and she's been giving us an amazing information for you to build your wealth. And one of the things that she was sharing was her book on the road to the American dream. So, Laleh, can you share some stories that, it was a very complicated situation for someone and you were able to help them out?
Yeah, I mean, I have a client right now. A year ago, he came to me with a 480 credit score, and a lot of that was because he went through a divorce and that was tough for him.
Mhm.
His wife kind of handled the finances. Looking back, I think she did an okay job, but it wasn't, anything that they shared. And he's, a contractor. So he went through that divorce, and I think, being that it was such a new thing for him to handle his finances since they were a partnership for so long, he kind of ignored it, and hoped things would go away. And there's a lot of myths, for example, oh, ignore it for 7 years and it's going to fall off your credit report. That's not true. Once you've taken care of the matter and the creditor stops reporting, that will fall off after 7 years, but you do have to face the music and deal with it, whether you settle it, make payments, dispute it, whatever it be. So he came back to me just a couple months ago with a 560 score. Within 2 months, we got him up to a 611. We are saving him about $3,000 a month, and we're going to change his life. And within about 8 months, we think we'll have him at a 720 credit score.
Wow.
And most of it's just really being transparent, direct,
Mm-hmm.
honest. Sometimes it's not the most comfortable conversations, but I really do care. And, a lot of people I'll do the footwork for, if they're not having, I guess, that kind of, let me ignore my credit habits, and I want them to change. We had to order payoffs and dispute some items, and he wanted to get off the phone. I'm like, oh, sorry, you're staying on this one for me, because I knew he needed to go through that pain, for example, because I don't want him to go back to the same habits. A lot of
Okay.
people will do those things but for this particular person, it's like a little bit of tough love. But he's really appreciative. He's going to be a changed man, and we're going to simplify things so he doesn't have all these, noisy credit things that are annoying, and we're just going to change the man's life. So,
Wow. So he's going to be a lot smarter for the next time around, right?
yeah, I mean, going from a 480 to a 720 score in 1 year and saving $3,000 a month, I mean, it's going to create a lot of confidence. And now he's already talking about, okay, I think I'm getting this, and I maybe want to buy another property and rent this one out. So, I'm excited to see that growth and that transition, because my clients, truly become friends after the
Yes.
process.
And they become smarter, and they ended up having more assets, by being connected to you because you're
Yeah.
you're giving
Well, I
them a
take the
lot of
time to
knowledge.
teach because I think, bad news travels 10 times faster, and
Mhm.
you're expected to do a good job, but they're only going to talk about you if they leave feeling empowered, knowledgeable, if they felt like it was an excellent job. That's the only
Mhm.
times that people will go talk about the good news. You have to really pass up that expected, customer service. You have to really
Mhm.
go to that extra level to be able to get them to want to brag about the experience. And that's what I feel like I've done.
Mhm.
After 2006, the last market crash, people call it eight. That's when everybody else caught on, but it really started in six. But I was buying internet leads back then, and that's all I knew, because that's what I learned, from the first
Mhm.
moment I got in the business in 2001. Is just buy leads, feed the birds. Well, once the industry got challenging, I realized I never want to buy leads again, ever, ever, ever again.
Uh-huh.
Because when that dries up and you're left going, now what? That can really topple someone. So I swore in 2006 I would never buy a lead again. So that's why I do different community events,
Mhm.
fundraisers. I like to highlight nonprofits. I like to educate people through the process, as well as doing workshops. So that's kind of also where the book comes in. I just feel like if you do brand yourself in that way with community service,
Mhm.
you're not going to be toppled when the industry shifts.
Well, I've known you for quite some time now, Lale, and one thing I know is that not only you're very well educated on this matter, you're also very kind and very supportive to a lot of people. Even for me, I've you've done a lot of things of support for me with all the events that I've done, and I treasure our friendship, and I treasure you as a business woman in the community, because you know how to benefit your own community with your connections and talent. And plus, it really shows in your character how you are as a person. And that's one thing that I love about you. And I think people, when they're choosing the people that they want to work with in any type of business, they really need to get to know people character wise. And
I
that's how
agree.
you can build the trust and, understand that, the testimonial, the organic referrals and testimonials come from a great service that you provide,
Right. I
right?
agree. And same
Yeah.
to you. I think women and men alike, but I find that in many cases, you can find some women be maybe a little bit catty, or you have the mean girls. And, I admire, women in business, especially when they're supportive to others,
Mhm.
and, that resilience, and, just the constant go get it. I learn a lot from
Mhm.
you as well, and you've supported many people. So, likewise, and
Well,
hopefully birds of a feather flock together, right? You get to
yes.
attract that.
Yes. And I know that you're running a brokerage. So how many loan officers do you have?
Yeah, we have three loan officers,
Okay.
and I also have a, executive project manager. So one of my loan officers has been doing it twice as long as me, so she's pretty, self-sufficient.
Uh-huh.
Another loan officer, he's, kind of crossing over from real estate, but he speaks Farsi. I'm half Persian, and I don't speak Farsi, so I get a lot of Persian clients. But of course, just like any other, nationality, sometimes you want to process the information in your first language. So he helps me a lot there.
Hmm.
Reza, you probably met him at one of your events. So I think we have a great team. I think what's been challenging for me is getting getting other loan officers, recruited to do things my way. And I do it my
Hmm.
way for a reason, because I think all of those steps are required for me to make a good financial recommendation. So there are a lot of loan officers out there, they'll just read a rate sheet and spit a rate out, and they pick up in numbers what they, maybe lack in skill. But I feel like that process is really important. So we're always hiring and looking for people that understand how to, be efficient. My goal is growth so that I can actually, reach more people. But it's important for, my team at least to adopt my mission statement and, our integrity and our goals and our values here. So
Okay. Well, coming into this year, Lale, what are the things that you're planning to expand your business or even with your own personal wealth? I mean, what is your vision? I wanted to just hear what you have.
yeah, well, I'm always playing with that a little bit. I picked up another property recently, and we're looking at how are we gonna rent this? Are we gonna go another level up, create maybe a second living space? I think that if you can create more passive income, that's the best way to go. I'm really passionate about music and art, and communication, so I have some endeavors that I'm pouring into to expand and highlight. But I believe that always, comes back around. It's kind of like just another cog to the wheel, if
Mm-hmm.
you will. Um, but I'm facing, just like anybody else, tax season, tax planning, making sure you're thinking ahead. I have an appointment with my tax accountant coming up, and one of the other things is, a penny saved is a penny earned. I think
Mm-hmm.
these days, especially being a busy mom and a busy business owner, I'm looking at my credit card statements and I'm like, Hulu and, what's this subscription and Xbox and, Apple. I'm like, they're draining me every which way. So, taking time and making time on a regular basis to, review, just my credit card statements to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they're accurate. I think we get so busy and we put that off. So I'm trying to put that on my own calendar, so that I make a habit of, little things like that, because it will add up. But it is tough because it's like, what do they say, that the cobbler's kids never had shoes? I tend to put my, I'm like, oh, I got to scramble and get my stuff done because I'm so busy whipping through everybody else's. But it does make it easier. One of the things that I like to point out is, show me everything. Don't be intimidated. I know it feels overwhelming to you, but to me, that's not my kitchen to clean, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can help a friend clean their kitchen real fast, right? So it's kind of the same thing. So I don't have the emotional attachment, for example, with my client that I'm working with, looking
Mm-hmm.
at, his credit, every time he tried to face all that music or noise, which it was noise, we're going to
Uh-huh.
turn it into music. But you face that stuff and it's like, oh, I want to do something else because this emotionally hurts that I let that go, or this blemish is on credit. So just know that if you're working with a good professional, they can whip through your finances a lot faster than you can because we're emotionally detached. So that really helps simplify things for people, I think.
That's amazing. Now, are you, I guess we're getting close to the next segment here, but before you, I want to ask you this question, but before you answer, we're going to move on to the next one, okay? So I guess my question is, are you doing anything aggressive for your business itself? And we will be right back with your answer, okay? And this is the International Wealth Builders, everyone. We are with Laleh Hanks, and so stay with us, and we will be right back.